Hello, this is a test of the emergency broadcast system. If this had been a real broadcast, you would have seen my actual face and not my little avatar face with my little photo sitting here. And it would be followed by a message delivered directly to you from Nicole Maxwell of the Meta Mind Shift, of the MaxDistro, of the technical consulting, of the Meta Mind Shift, of the Black Multiverse, or the Blackverse. Or, if you were in for a special treat, you would have been joined by the one and the only Markley.
Hey there, it's the amazing Nicole and the amazing Maxwell of MaxDistro and all of that. It's just amazing to be here on a test and all in that space. And yes, I popped in here and I'm glad to be a partner within MaxDistro. And we're just ready to do amazing work in the community and definitely help y'all get that distribution that y'all need. There's no doubt about that. And of course, we want to make sure that y'all are the best podcast out there and the best live stream as well. So we are very pleased to be in here and to learn more about what the heck StreamYard is up to as well. But this is truly amazing. I'm just glad to be here with the truly amazing Nicole. I was worried there for a minute because I had a conversation earlier and I had learned that amazingly it did not happen, even though I was fully expecting it to happen. Because earlier I had a conversation with the amazing Miss Maxwell in which she said that the phone would self-destruct. As you can see, the phone is still here. So I keep
Well, I
waiting.
didn't mean that phone. I
I
meant the other
Mission
one.
Impossible fan, and I keep waiting for it to go 10, 9, 8, 7,
Listen,
6,
you have more than
5,
one phone.
4, 3, 2,
And so while
1.
you over there counting,
Self-destruct. That is what is
I
supposed to
would
happen
pick this
with this particular
conversation
phone.
up and
But I
carry it
think
right
that the
back to where
blind
it's
agent
supposed to
there in the
be.
agency gave me a defective phone. What do you think, Miss Maxwell? Because this phone was supposed to have self-destructed 2 hours ago, and it's not self-destructed. So I think that they gave me a defective phone, and I want you to talk to the agent because if they're going to give me a phone, it's going to self-destruct. It needs to self-destruct in order to self-destruct, and apparently it has not
Markley,
done that. Therefore, we have to
I
talk
am
to
going
those
to come
fine
destruct that
engineers
phone
and
for
all
you
into
in a
that
minute.
space.
And
I was
then
talking to
think
the guy
about,
that runs
just
the bond
pause,
thing. His stuff
think
works. I
about
was talking to the
what
people
you
that run some of
want
the
to
other agencies.
know.
Their stuff works. I even talked to the original Mission Impossible guy. He said his stuff worked. How come I got the defective one? That is just wrong. And I want to know why that is and why I'm not on the top of the list because
It's
apparently I'm an influencer and supposed to be the top agent. So that being said, I need to understand what happened.
Markley, if your phone self destructs, I want you to close your eyes and think for a minute
Well, I hear
on
her
all
just
the
moving, but I
things.
don't hear her. But she's responding, and all in
Wait,
that
you
space.
can't hear
Probably
me?
because I had my own volume down because there was other things going on, and all in that space.
You
I'm
over
going
there
to turn this
talking
up
up a
and all
storm,
in that way.
and you don't even hear what I'm saying. I'm so mad at you right now. I've been talking this whole time. I'm like, Mark, I can't leave Mark.
Well, you have to remember that the other thing that happens in the StreamYard world is that
Mhm.
sometimes you're running multiple shows. We know this because apparently that's one of the things that StreamYard is going to
The
solve and
life
all in
of an
that. So
executive
that's what happened is
producer.
that I was waiting to hear you from the phone, the one that was supposed to self-destruct, but that then I would have heard what you were saying
So
because I
that's
couldn't
what
hear it
I
from
said.
that
Can you
technology.
hear me now?
I hear you loud and clear.
Listen. So what I was saying is that if your phone self-destructs, I want you to close your eyes and think about all the things that you will not be getting if that phone self-destructs. So that's up to you.
Good point. So we don't want the phone to self-destruct. So I'm gonna leave the phone down on the table. But I don't want the phone to self-destruct. So I'm gonna tell the phone to be cooperative, just like you were telling certain animals to be cooperative earlier because they took a bath and all that. I'm gonna actually pet the phone and say, "Phone, do not
Oh
self-destruct
God.
because I need the phone to make money and all of that." So, phone, do not self-destruct.
All right. So, guys, this is a preview of the Mark and Nicole show. Um, we're gonna take the show on the road. We're hitting your airwaves coming soon. The
Coming soon
silliness
in
will be
2023, I
coming.
believe.
In 20, are we waiting a whole month? I thought we were
No,
gonna get started
we'll
in
actually launch before
2022.
Christmas because we're going to launch before Christmas
Okay.
because believe it or not, there is a synergy, there is chemistry, there's all kinds of things between Mark and Nicole and all in that space. So there's be the synergy on the show and the synergy in the real world as well because there's the real world, there's the internet world, and
Listen,
there's all of that.
so
So
we
there's
are focusing on the show that we are going to push out into the world. And that show,
Exactly.
I
So
don't know
I'm
what
not
we're
going
gonna
to be
call it.
quiet
It's
and
gonna be
all
the
of that
Mark and
space and
Nicole
everything.
show.
But the Mark and Nicole show will be truly amazing and all of that. I'm actually thinking that Nicole needs top billing, even though if we're going alphabetically, it is the Mark and Nicole show.
It
But
is the
I'm
Mark and no, I like it that way because it's the man and the woman, and then it's like the M and the N, and then the L and the M. Either way you do that, it's still you first. So I'm okay with that because you're the influencer out of all of us. So and you've now put that out into the interwebs, and so now they know that you think you're an influencer. So we all agree
no, I
that
don't
you
think that. I
are,
mean, we've actually had
and
this conversation before because I do not think that I am.
I
Other people
know
have told
you
me that
do.
I am, and
You
I've
just
even
said
asked
it.
the question of
I
what
mean, I
is an
can rewind
influencer
the
because
tape.
to me, an influencer is one
I can run
that
it
they
back.
say
You
do
just
something.
said it.
I might have said it, but to me, I'm not an influencer. Because if they
You
say
just
that you
said
are
it.
an influencer, then you have to influence something. And I
Well,
don't
you
know that I am
influence the things.
influencing all that much.
You influence the things. The things that you influence them. And so that's all right. You're an influencer, and God knows we said this was never going to happen, that you would never see me hanging out with influencers. But guess what? This dude is fun. And so we're gonna have a show. And that show, like, this is the precursor to the show. Um we are currently using the meta mind shift background, but that's because our minds have shifted into this meta that we are going to create a show on. And um we don't know what it's going to be called yet. So right now it is called the Mark and Nicole Show. But we're also playing with the idea of McCole.
Exactly.
The McCole Show. The McCole Show.
The McCall
Let's
show,
go. The McCole Show. Let's go.
with the McCall show, and all that. So yeah, that's another possibility and everything in that nature. I'm still trying to get over this notion of being an influencer and all of that. But
Me
there's also
too.
people
Like
there. Hold on a second.
when
There are
I
people
when
in
I
Durham
saw
that
that
say
you were
that
an
I am the
influencer, Mark, my heart was like, wait a minute, he what? Oh my God. Who knew? This guy. This guy.
yeah, but there's people also that say that I'm the cultural mayor or the cultural minister of Durham and
Oh,
everything. And I
I've
don't
seen
quite
that
get that
in
either. And then
in
there
my
are people that say
research
that
of
I am the
Believe.
de facto mayor of Durham. I'm going like, I have never had that office. I know who currently holds the office. That would be Elaine O'Neill and all in that spaces. And before that, it was other folks. I think Mayor Bale had it forever. It seemed like he had it forever. And Steve Shule was the one before Elaine O'Neill. Nowhere in there do you see the name Mark Lee. So, like I said, how I am the de facto mayor is beyond me or anything. But there are folks that say that I'm the de facto mayor, and there are people that even go around saying that he's Mr. Haytime or Mr. Centerfest or Mr. Eno. And I'm going like, no, there
So
are
wait,
people that actually run
pause.
those things, so that cannot be Mr. this or that. And then
So you are Mr. This
there's my
and
friend
that.
Ray that calls me the voice of the blues. And I'm going like, it's been a minute since I've done my blues show, but I will do one hopefully
You
this
guys
week
see
and
how he's
everything.
doing that? Like he's putting out his whole resume onto the it's like that. You see how you just threw that down there like it wasn't nothing. Oh, and I know about blues. Oh, and I'm the mayor. Oh, and I'm culturally savvy. All of that. Listen. So what you guys don't know about Mark Lee.
Yes,
Is
we're
that
waiting for
he's an
Nicole to
executive
reveal things that they
producer.
don't know about Mark Lee that Nicole has learned. So we need to. This is going to be interesting. I'm so interested that I'm going to jump out of the other StreamYard for a second because, like I said, that person is good. So I know that I can jump back in a second and
No,
all.
no, I was just gonna say, like, you're an executive producer. So, like, what I was saying is that so two things I was saying. So first of all, you're an executive producer. So what you are hearing in the background is Mark Lee hard at work. And so he's making sure that not only this conversation is cultivated and that he is here and present with me in this moment so that we can have our very first preliminary pre-test precursor demo tape to the world of what the show looks like. But also Mark Lee lives in North Carolina. So all them places that he rattled off that are foreign to everybody besides those who live in North Carolina, that's why. They are North Carolina things that North Carolina people know. And no one else on the planet knows that unless you have a reason to care about North Carolina. But We care because Mark Lee.
But ironically, there is something that is known in North Carolina that also got known in a part of the country that was part of your storyline as well. Because here in Durham, we believe in doing very unique things, and sometimes we even have anniversaries of them and everything. So I was on the planning committee because somebody had the bright idea. It was actually a kind of cool bright idea because you had to give the same thing that you would do in a real wedding. You had to give like oaths of things that you would do and things in that space and all in that line. And we actually married the city. That's right. We actually had an actual minister, a friend of mine, and we actually had people dress up in their wedding gown and all that, and we married the city. So there was an event called Married Durham, and there was a Married Durham anniversary. We've talked about having another anniversary because I think it was about 5, 6, 7 years ago that we had the first marriage, and then there's been talk of a then there was the 5-year anniversary, and then there's been talk of another marriage of the city of Durham because you had to pledge to take care of Durham, work against
So
gentrification, different other kind of things. But ironically, that's what I was going to get to, so some of your roots and everything.
thank you. Because I was
Apparently,
like,
it
wait,
was so popular that some people in the West Coast did it as well. And I want to say that maybe Colorado or somewhere in Colorado or Washington also did a merry event as well because they're like, hey, Durham's got a hip and cool idea. Let's imitate it. So there have been a couple of other things that it rotated to other places, kind of like happened with the Apollo, because the Apollo has also been done. The road to the Apollo, that is, has been in other places as well. But yes, we married our
shameless
city.
plug that you just did again. I saw it for what it was, influencer. This is how you influence, just in case you ever wanted to know how you were actually doing that. Like that's how you do it, and that's why you're an influencer, because you do stuff like that. You just influence the people to go get married and then go to the road show at the Apollo Road Show. So listen, question to you.
Yes.
Um, this means that you are already married because you have married the city of Durham.
Well, first off, it was not an official, actual marriage and all of that. And for several of the people that got married were already married. So I don't know if that makes them, if they were married, what do you call it?
So
Not so much.
polygamous,
Yes,
because
polygamous. I don't know how that
that
works
is
and
what
everything.
Durham is now, is a big old polygamy city.
Because well, it has got all kinds of mixtures. Because there were gay people that were getting married. There were
It doesn't matter. It's just
LGBTQIA people that
polygamy
were
can be
getting married.
anything.
There was definitely non-religious people that were getting married. There were just folks getting married left and right. So I'm thinking there might have even been some vegans and other people where they're getting married. Nothing wrong with veganism. I actually like the
Mm.
chicken on my plate and all of that. But definitely all kinds of people getting married. But that did raise an interesting question. I also wonder. Um, how official the wedding was because they call Reverend Kenny is an official reverend and all of that. But I did not see any exchanges of rings or anything of that nature. It was more like just the pledge to do this and that. But that does raise a very interesting question for those that got married that were already married. But I guess that they have maybe two wives, their actual wife, and the city that they married. I'm not sure how the official rules are with that because I don't think that you can actually marry a city, but apparently they attempted that and did pull it off. But it does raise some legal questions. So we're going to have to talk to Nick, the founder of the network, to see if there are legal problems with this as well, because that would be a whole other conversation because there is a
I
show
mean,
that
basically, Mark, what you've said is that Durham is a big old polygamy city, and that all y'all over there have multiple loved ones that you love on and love in on a daily basis. And I think that that is why we have seen such a big boom in technology and Durham wanting to be Silicon Valley. They mixed it up because they thought that they were talking about technology, but they were not. They was talking about the other kind of silicon, so they could make sure that all their little wives were stuffed for days.
well,
Um,
I've heard that the real Silicon Valley is up there in like the DC area and all of that. I've heard some
yes, it
people say
is.
that and all in that line. So they say that that's the real
You realize it's
Silicon
being
Valley of the
recorded and
DC.
that
Of course,
they're going to
there's the
come get you
Silicon
for that,
Valley
right?
of the West and all of that. So there are all kinds of Silicon Valleys. But yes, we do consider ourselves the Silicon Valley, also the education capital of the U.S. and a couple of other things, even though Harvard and
Wait,
Yale
what?
might argue
The
against that.
education capital?
Well, not so much the education capital, but definitely I want to say, well, no, I take that back. I know what the other claim, this is the other claim that Durham has, and you can't really argue with this, but one of Durham's taglines is the city of medicine because we have Duke University Hospital, we have the VA, we've got Lincoln Hospital, and there are hospitals that are nearby, like Rex, which is over there in Raleigh, and Lincoln Hospital, which is actually the African American hospital at one point, and is now a clinic, and all in that way. So, and of course, there's all that Research Triangle Park stuff that goes on with Glaxo and Pfizer and a number of other kind of companies that have been involved in this whole madness that we've been dealing with for 2.5 years. But yes, that is one of the other claims: is the city of medicine and the city of sports, and sometimes the city of champions, because contrary to what some other universities think that are in other parts of the world, Duke and UNC and even North Carolina Central University and others have won
Right.
titles. The Hurricanes
Right.
way back when won a
Right.
title. The Bulls
Right.
keep winning titles, which is
Right.
our minor league baseball
Right.
team, and all of that. And
Mark,
yes,
hello. Can you even hear me?
no, I hear you, but I was
You're not hearing me. That's cool. We're not going to have a show about North Carolina. You have like 49 shows about North Carolina. This is not going to be about North Carolina. Because first of all, I'm not there.
Show, I was just using a
Second of
parallel.
all, we're not doing that. Third of all, Mark Lee.
Yes.
What is it like to maximize your distribution?
That is a very serious question. I will let you know. In order to maximize the distribution, there are a lot of things that we must do. She's laughing at me again. I told you about that self-destructive phone. She started laughing at me again. But I'm going to get serious, and on a very serious note. You podcasters, you live streamers, you folks that are in that space and everything, some of y'all are doing a disservice to yourself because you're not getting a maximum amount of exposure. Exposure is a very important word and all of that. And you're not getting the maximum amount of exposure. For example, if you are a live streamer, if you are one of those people that are jumping on Facebook Live, maybe you're jumping on StreamYard, maybe you're jumping on this, you're seeing your pretty face or whatever else is going on. You're maybe even throwing up animations and cartoons and all of that. Yes, you are seen in those platforms, maybe even on YouTube, maybe even on some of those things like Twitch and everything like that. But are you on the radio? Are you actually captivating the audio audience and all in that space? That's a whole other avenue that y'all have not thought about. We here at MaxDistro will help you get that exposure as well, because we know quite a few platforms, including some that y'all have not done the research on, because my good partner over there and good friend, Miss Maxwell, has done some amazing job of research. So we've got some platforms that y'all might not have even thought about. And we're not going to tell you the secret sauce, because secret sauce is just that. It's secret for a reason. Anybody that knows a good recipe knows that there's a secret sauce. You keep it secret and all of that. But it can help y'all get what y'all need and all in that space. I actually have a background in journalism, so I will gladly also help you get the press release that will let people know what you're doing. And it won't just be in your local newspaper or all of that. Nothing wrong with your local newspaper. Don't know where your local newspaper is. It might be in Indiana. It might be in Kalamazoo for all I know. But we'll get you the exposure there. We also get ties to the New York Times, the Washington Post, and other major papers, as well as some television outlets that are national as well as international. So we'll make sure that you are heard and all of that. Who knows? You might become an influencer as well, even though I personally don't think I'm an influencer, but maybe that's what you want to do at all in that life. But that's what we can have to do. Now, the flip side of that, if you're a podcaster, if you thought about making your podcast into a video show, I doubt many of you have thought about this. This is another way that you can have maximum distribution, because that's what this whole thing is about. MaxDistro is about maximum distribution and getting your word out. Many of us have a story to tell. There's this whole notion that everybody has a book in them. I would argue that everybody also has many tales that they can tell that are life lessons and things that other people can learn from, whether that's the hardships that they went through, whether that's some laughter that they went through, whether that's a number of other things. That's what we've been doing with the online dinner party. That's what other people are doing with various shows that are also on Pod TV as well. But does it really count if only one person hears it? It kind of comes down to that old analogy. If a tree falls in the wood and nobody hears it, did the tree really fall, or something like that? I think that's the way.
What do you think about that?
Something along those lines and something like that. But if the tree falls and makes an earthquake and everybody hears it, then you've got your point. That is.
What do you think about that? If a tree falls in a forest and there's no one there to hear it, yes, did the tree really fall in the forest, or
it comes down to
is that tree still standing until somebody notices that it fell?
Well, it comes out to that whole notion that is very true in the world of journalism. If the tree fell in the forest and nobody was there to catch the tree or hear the tree, then is there proof that the tree fell? So, like I said, if
No.
the tree fell in the forest and nobody saw the tree fall, then we don't know or have any proof that the tree fell because there is no camera work, there's no video, there was not even an audio of the tree making that crashing noise and all in
And
that space.
saying
So
the
that's
tree
kind of
didn't
the theory, is
fall.
that if the tree fell, does anybody know that the tree fell if you didn't see the tree fall? It's kind of like, and this is my question to you, Nicole, it's kind of like this notion of, if we weren't on the trip, and we do know that Hollywood is a very real thing, do we actually have proof that Mr. Armstrong and other people actually went to the moon? Because I wasn't on the trip, and I don't think you were on the trip. So do we actually have proof other than some camera shots that there was a moon landing or a moon takeoff, that a man planted a flag and all of that? Or was it just a bunch of people in Hollywood making a very good movie and we're just going by what they said? Because, like I said, I wasn't on that ship. I know that in science fiction world, there's a lot of that going on, that things are made up and all in that space. I understand that somewhere in Arizona, there is like some alien life that's out there, but I've not seen it. I just heard rumors of it, but that's what they say. Just like they say that Bigfoot is real and the Loch Ness Monster is real. So I'm not going to argue that, since I've never been to Loch Ness, where I think that's in Scotland, and I've never run across Bigfoot. Oh well, yeah. Some people might say that you might have run across Bigfoot if you ran across somebody with a Bigfoot, but that's a whole nother story.
Markley.
But
Markley.
yes,
Listen, sir. I'm gonna decorate this, and so we're gonna have little presents on top of our squares.
I like this.
It's gonna be so cute. Oh my god,
Yeah.
I'm excited. Okay, I love Christmas. It's coming up. I'm so excited. And look at this background, because the background's gonna look great when I get done with it.
I love that background. It's a beautiful
So
background.
to answer the question, did we actually land on the moon?
Yes.
And how do I know that? Because I wasn't there.
Right.
So I would say I don't know because I was not there, but also that's the best damn movie that I've ever heard anybody come out with, if that's like a fiction. So like if that's not real, um, then they did a fantastic job of fooling the entirety of everyone on the planet, including people who were not in this country, because that I said planet for a reason. I did not mean the United States of America. I meant the world. The world.
The world. The
The
world.
world.
Wait a minute. Which raises two questions, because I do remember another show
You
that I used
know,
to
I'm
love and
done.
everything.
Because I was going to talk about the tree falling. Okay, so,
Yes.
but if the tree falls in the forest, and there is no one to hear the tree fall in the forest, what does that mean in Nicole's world? Well, that means that somewhere we have failed a tree because a tree has fallen, and that we need to get the gurney and get it back over into that damn forest and help pick that tree up. And that is how I think of human beings too. When
Well,
you fall,
speaking of that, and speaking of that whole notion of the tree needing help and all of that,
you
there's a
can't
whole
do
group of
that.
people that have been
No.
not getting their fair share and everything. I want to know your
I
thoughts about this.
am not the morning show. We cannot do that.
No, it's not the morning show, but I do have a serious question to ask you
No.
before we get back to the MaxDistro, because MaxDistro is very serious and everything. And I do have a very serious question. And it's not that much of a news question, but it's one that is very much concerning to me and everything.
Oh God.
There's this guy who was showing the Christmas decorations. I love Christmas as well. I love the holidays just in general. So
This is
that's
supposed to be
amazing
5 minutes.
holiday.
And
I
it's
love
turned
getting
into
gifts,
half an hour.
even sometimes giving gifts and everything. But are Rudolph and the elves getting paid enough? Or are they like the teachers? Do they actually need to get a raise? Because I'm thinking that they're probably just getting lodging and all of that. I don't know if they're getting paid, and if they're getting paid, are they getting paid enough? And how much do you need as an elf to survive in the North Pole and all of that? So these are very valid questions that I have, but I don't know if you've got any thoughts on whether the elves need to unionize. I think that one of those movies, it might have been Elf, they were talking about unionizing. So do we need to have the elves with a union, and do they have a union? And if so, is it a short pay that they're not getting and all of that line? So what's going on with the elves?
Well, Markley, I don't know, but I would think that if you work for the man who makes toys for every single person on this planet, and then it's his job to spread cheer and good joy. And he walks around with a smile on his face 999 days of the year. That them employees better be paid, and they better have little comfortable beds there at the North Pole. That they have like lots of like nice little warm blankets so that they're not freezing because it's cold. They got they have to have like a full rotation of coffee and cocoa because I'm pretty sure most of them are adolescents. Um, and Mrs. Claus needs a hot toddy every now and then. So somewhere, somehow, there's got to be something to make that happen.
I
And
agree with you. I agree with you, Miss Nicole, and everything. But I'm also wondering about the reindeer because Prancer and Dancer and Dasher get
they get
all the
water.
play. I understand that there was one called Flash or something like that. He gets no play, and Rudolph is running around with a red nose and all of that. So I think that he's actually being discriminated against with that
Well,
red nose that blinks all the time.
Rudolph unfortunately caught COVID, so he's going to be sitting this year out. That's what that little nose was all about, and so we're going to wish him well. We all, most of us know what that is like. I have not personally had it myself, but I have seen it from afar. Uh, and I've seen it show up on other folks, and those folks have come and gone, and some of them are, you know what? We're in season right now where this thing may kick up again. And so, what I wish to Rudolph is um, a speedy recovery.
Yes, definitely. Rudolph needs a speedy recovery. Speaking of speedy recoveries, there was this animal that got a reprieve, or at least one of them did. I know that in my mom's house, several of them got a reprieve and all of that. But Nicole, what do you think about turkeys getting a pardon? Because apparently during Thanksgiving, because we just had Thanksgiving, the president every year gives at least two. I think it was chocolate and chips
I
this year.
don't think
That
Donald
was their
Trump
name.
should ever
They got
get
a pardon.
pardoned.
So don't all the turkeys need a pardon, or how come only
I
two get
don't
a
think
pardon?
Donald Trump should ever be pardoned. No,
They shouldn't be pardoned at all. They should just go down
that
the.
turkey should never be pardoned ever. So no, and no. That was a joke for anybody who missed that. That was a joke, specifically you, Markley, because I don't think you caught it at first either. But I'm gonna say this. That I like me some turkey, and so I don't think that they should be over there pardoning any of them turkeys. They know what their job is. They have one job, and that is to feed me. And so, feed me Seymour. There's a song on Little Shop of Horrors,
I know
and
that
we
song.
watch it during the holidays. And so, this holiday season, feed me Seymour. Um, and I want to be a dentist. That is my favorite song on that.
Feed Me Seymour is a very valid question. I know we sometimes watch it even in some of your spaces, you show movies and all in that line. So I do have a question for you. Um, if you know that the kids are alone and you know that you're going to just walk into basically one big trap, why would you keep walking into the trap? Because that's apparently what happens on both Home Alone and this Christmas. Those people know what they're walking into. They know that no kid is just going to stand there and not do something to defend their space. And most kids have all kinds of toys that they are trapping their parents with in the first place. That's why many parents go there and are tripping off of toys and the little other things that are laying around that don't need to be laying around. So what were the robbers thinking about going into a house that was inhabited by little kids, knowing good and well that little kids like to make adults trip in the first place?
We are going to be wrapping this up here in a minute, but I would like to say I don't know. Like, I've never tried to attack a child, nor have I tried to attack a child who is equipped to take me down in any kind of way. So I don't know what that looks like, Mark Lee.
Yeah, I don't know what that looks like either. But you asked me earlier, and we're gonna get back to the more serious topic. And actually, the other show is wrapping up as well, so that's a good thing. But I've been thoroughly enjoying this fun with Miss Nicole and all of that. But we're gonna get serious again because Max Distro is a real thing, and StreamYard is a real
What?
thing as well. So, what is
What?
Nicole's idea of
Mark
how
Lee,
Metaverse is going
what?
to deal with Max Distro and how this is going to be done and all in that space? Because the Metaverse is also part of what Max Distro does in the sense of letting people know about other aspects of what goes on in the world, including um, metaverses, augmented reality, virtual reality, and a number of other things. So, what kind of things can our podcasters get from your lane? I described some of the things that I might be offering, but you are also a technical consultant and you do a lot of other amazing things. You are truly amazing and just a wonderful person. And that's why I love this gift in the background, because you have been a gift to me in that sense and all along those lines. But for those that don't know about the nature of your business capabilities, please let folks know what they might be getting from the Nicole side of Max Distro as well.
Well, you get the max. That's the first thing. You're definitely getting the max. Regardless of anything else that I bring, you're getting the max just by default. So I'm the brainchild behind this bad boy, but um, you know, I am bringing a lot to it, including the metaverse experience. But that's just a part of it, because not only do we have the one and the only Mark Lee of Lee Entertainment, we also have Nicole Maxwell, the CEO of Black Multiverse Enterprises, the owner of Technical Consulting, the founder of the Blackverse Metaverse community, the la 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 la, and the hostess of the the executive producer and hostess of the Meta Mind Shift show. And call her the Metaverse Goddess. But I prefer technical. And that's because I actually am technical. Like, I could help you with technically almost everything. But what do I bring? So all that, just a little bit of that. Bring the idea of implementation. So I am a seasoned implementation consultant with over 70 years of uh, implementation and consultation experience, as well as 200 years metaverse expansion experiences for everyone. And so,
Wait a minute, hold on a second, because there's a commercial that runs on the network that talks about this particular person that you mentioned earlier having 100 years of media experience. I think I look good for 110 or 120 and all in that space. And I just added up like a 70 to 170 years that you said that you have of implementation and metaverse experience and all in that space. So I'm thinking that both of us are like around, 120, 130. So we all look very good for the age that we are and everything. But what do you say to that? Because some people could be hearing our numbers and going like, so he's got 100 years of media experience. She's got 200 years, because that's what you said. I didn't say it, of metaverse experience. How is this even possible? Because we've heard that she's actually like 10, and we've heard that
I
he's
was,
actually, even despite the beard, that
wait,
he's
is she
actually
10?
like around 15
She's 10?
or something like that.
Is she 10 though? So yeah, I am 29 and I have stopped aging right there. I will be 29 forever. So think about the reality of me being 29. I have been through that several times now. And so all of that adds up to 200 years. So that's where I got it from. It's official, and that's what I'm saying. No, I was just kidding, by the way.
I like that number system that you're doing. I don't know if I ever
Did you
told you
like
this. I
it?
think I did. But my mom, one
I
time when
told you
she
I
was
was
about,
innovative, Mark.
yeah, I love the numbers that you did. And by the way, I'm multitasking and they're winding down. So that's good. We're winding down
Oh, well,
at
go
about the same
multitask.
time
I'm
and
going to
all of
talk.
that. So that being said, one of the questions I've got to ask you is that my mom, when she was like maybe around, I want to say 40 or 50, said that she was going to start counting backwards. That could be problematic because that means that she would be about 10 or something like that at some point that I'm not expecting her to be. But I did like it at the time she told me that, because at the time I think I was like 30 or something like that. And she's like, once I hit 50, I was going to start counting backwards and all
So,
in
Mark,
that
you're not
space.
30 right now?
Yes, I am exactly 30. You didn't know that? Yes, I am that. Well, actually, the age that I am is the new 30. But yes, I am actually only 30 and all in that space. So definitely, for those that are wondering, apparently, according to Nick Palveda, one of the founders of this network, I have 100 years of media experience. So I think that I was around when Thomas Jefferson and them were there, according to him. But I don't think so. But
Ooh.
that's what he
Well,
claims.
that wouldn't have been good
All
for
in
you.
that line.
So I would hope that you were not around during that time. I don't think you would have made it. But I mean, maybe it's very unlikely that you would have been around in that story. So interesting that you're 100. I would have never guessed. I totally did go with the whole "you're 30" thing. The 30 vibe is definitely what I got. Because you're fun and free, and I just thought you went great early. So I'm 29 though, and that is what's important, is that we remember that Nicole is 29 years old, and that is not changing. And
Well, like I
ever,
said, I like your
ever.
attitude. I believe that attitude. I'm going to hold to that attitude as well. So, just to be nice to the other people, since other people want to age me further than I am, we're going to say that technically speaking, I am actually Nicole is 29, and you're right. This is a totally premature grain and all that. I am actually 32 years old, and we're sticking to that. So I'm 32. I've been 32 this whole time, and I will stay 32 for as long as I can stay 32 and all of that. So we've got a
Can I
29-year-old and
ask
a 32-year-old.
why the two? Why the two? Why the two, sir? Why the
Well, 32
two?
just sounded like it was. You said 30 originally, and I was going like, some people
No,
would try to put me in another older category because of the gray hair. So I just thought I'd add a magic two number, and I came with 32. Would you prefer 33?
ooh, even versus odd. I don't know. There's so many decisions to work through there. It just
There's like hard decisions that people have to make, but one decision that we know is not hard is the notion of folks need to come to Max Distro and they actually need to get our services.
look
And
at
some of
you
these
saying you're
services
not a
are,
salesman and then being a salesman.
yes, some of these services are truly amazing and all of that. Because
This
as
is
you've
not
seen,
that. We're not selling us right now. We're just having fun. This is the
I know
Mark and
that, but I'm
Nicole
still having
show.
fun.
Welcome to the Mark and Nicole show.
Now, the
Mark
Market the
and
Close show is
Nicole
truly
show.
fun, and it is
Go
totally
get your
fun and
hoodie.
all of that. Yes, but see, you're doing
Your
sales now. And
hoodies.
definitely, if you have not got your
Actually,
hoodies,
don't do
please
that.
go
Go
and get
here
those hoodies
instead.
because we definitely need to get some hoodies sold. And I understand that we've got some other amazing products as well. And I don't know if Nicole wants to bring those up to the viewing audience to see, but there are things like cups, there are things like just was mentioned the hoodies. There are amazing, and I do mean amazing tote bags and other things that are truly
Wait, is
amazing.
the tote bag amazing though? Can you say it one more time? Because I don't think they heard you in the back.
They didn't read all the way in the back. Those tote bags are amazing. Truly, truly amazing. They are super amazing. You need to get a tote bag. As a matter of fact, I don't think you need one because I think that everybody needs more than one tote bag. Because as I'm thinking about this, what are tote bags used for? A lot of people use tote bags to get around. Like, just say that you're a student. I'm just using, I'm not that far from a campus and everything. So let's
Wait
just
a
say that
minute.
you're a
You're a
student.
student? So not only are you 30, but you're a 30-year-old student.
I
So
didn't say I was a student,
we're
but I
learning some
appreciate
new
that.
things. Look at this little happy black man who's our Santa Claus. Look
Oh,
at
yes, and we
him.
need to
Wait
let
a
other people
minute.
see him as
Look,
well.
Mark Lee, look.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
how cute is that? Look at it. Happy
He is so
holidays.
cute and everything. But you're not coming back to my whole narrative, which is I was thinking that
I'm sorry. I
if
cut
you
you
have
off
got
because
the
you were
tote bag,
telling us
you
you
need
were
the
a
tote.
30-year-old student.
Yeah, but you need more than one tote bag. But let's just take the typical student. You're going to need the tote bag that you're going to carry to class because you want to carry those book bags and you want to carry things in the
Uh-huh.
tote bag, and maybe you want to have some extra clothes and everything. But there's also, a lot of
Uh-huh.
those college kids also go to a gym, and the gym might be in their dorm or their apartment complex, or maybe wherever they live and everything. So you might want a separate tote bag for the gym because we don't want to mix the gym tote bag with the education tote bag. So I'm thinking that everybody needs to get at least two tote bags for two different purposes. So therefore, anybody that is watching, buy not one but two. If you want to be really modest and everything, maybe you get one of the bags, which is that third bag for the books, and the tote bag for your
You know
clothes if
what?
you're going to the gym.
No, 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 no. You're
No,
saying tote bag, but I honestly believe you actually mean get a duffel bag,
duffel bag.
because I'm
Right.
showing you this fantastic duffel bag right here, and I feel like I'm on QVC. Where's the Black Shopping Channel? Y'all go check out the Black Shopping Channel because that's actually a thing, and go check that out. BlackShoppingChannel.com. This is not an advertisement for them. However, this is an advertisement for Max Distro. Go to MaxDistro.store and you can help with all of our cool gear and get your own. So first up, we have the Max Distro duffel bag.
Duffel bag.
That is so cute, and I absolutely love it. I can't wait to That's gonna make me want to go to the gym.
And then you got the Max Distro hoodie. We got the Max Distro, a variety of other things. So they're just amazing things that you could get. But I just thought about something,
Yes,
Miss
Mark.
Maxwell and everything. I just thought about something that was another possibility, and it comes back to one of the other services that we offer after they buy all of this stuff, and they need to buy plenty of it because we definitely want to see them just
Plenty
be
of it.
walking throughout the cities of
Yes.
the U.S. and around the world wearing all of these amazing things.
Look at
There
that.
are a
We
couple of
even
things
got
that
a COVID mask. Look at
yeah,
that.
we got a
That's the
COVID
online
mask,
dinner
and
party, though. That's not Max
yeah,
Distro.
no, and we do have the COVID mask, so definitely you can be protected during this pandemic that is still going on and everything. Now, there are a few items that are in the store that we don't necessarily want you just wearing out and about. Maybe you want to carry them in your more intimate moments and all of that. Because as I recall, there is also a sports bra that is here for the ladies and all in that space. So I do remember that there is a sports bra that is out there as well, a Max Distro sports bra. So definitely that is going on.
You
We
know,
also
I think that you would remember there is a Max Distro sports bra. And so I think that that's actually kind of funny that you remember that. However, there is a Max Distro sports bra. There's also an online dinner party sports bra. There's also a sports bra. If you want to rep how to grow your Black business, there's a sports bra for that too. And you know what? Black Verse is going to have a sports bra if we don't already have that right now. And then Black Multiverse will also have a bra for sporting itself out there. So the only one that we have not done is technical consulting. We're not going to do a sports bra for that because I choose not to. But you
no,
know what? All these
I
other
can
endeavors are going to have it.
no, I can
I
definitely
think we'll
understand
put
that. But one
Avatar on there too for Meta Mind Shift. So, and then, ooh, ooh, I'm getting a new idea. So like
oh, she just had a new idea.
all of our Christmas stuff is gonna have t-shirts too, at least t-shirts and hoodies. So all the Christmas versions of logos. We're gonna do that.
Hey, Nicole, I have another question
Yes,
for
Mark.
you. I have another question for you
Yes,
because
Mark.
we're talking about business and the various opportunities
Yes,
that are out
Mark.
there and all of that and everything.
Yes,
And
Mark.
I was wondering if somebody is watching this show and they're watching us now and they're watching the lovely McCall show or the Mark and Nicole show or whatever we decide to call this and everything,
The
and they're like,
McCall show. Hold up. That's not who the hell are those people?
I
Who is
remember the
McCall?
name. You got to remember. I was
I'm
also
done. You're
I
missing
did. I
many
was trying to
points.
do the spellings
You're
and everything, and
replacing
it
me
came out
already.
totally wrong. I'm horrible with names and doing that, particularly when I'm also trying to listen to the other person. But either way, we
McCall.
call it the
I'm trying
Mark
to
and
figure out
Nicole
how
show
you like
because
you
I
got
actually
that.
like that name, the Mark and Nicole show.
Mhm.
But my question to you, and it was the original question, is if they're sitting there and they're watching, they're going like, these are truly amazing things. I love Max Distro. I love the online dinner party, and I love this and that. Maybe even I've got a show on the network and all of that, or I'm just watching it and I want my own line and everything. Is it
Ooh.
possible that if they pay the right money, that they could have their own line as well?
Well, you know what, Mark? Anything is possible if you pay the right amount of money.
Yeah.
That is, we have an open door policy to money. So if you like money and you have money and you want to get rid of it, you can come call us and we'll find out a way for you to maximally distribute that right on over this way. But yes, if they would like to set up their own show with us, we can help them do that. We can also help them to take their podcast to a live stream. We can also help them do the reverse. So if you've got a podcast or a live stream already, or I'm sorry, you already have a video on demand or a live stream already, we can help you distribute it as a podcast. So like, have you thought about that? Of course, these are things that some people know how to do themselves. You are not who we're talking to. Like, that is all right. Go do that. We got other services for you. If you want to do it yourself, you are more than welcome to. But I know that there are a lot of busy people who are trying to incorporate this podcasting and podcasting into their daily lives. And so that is the niche that we have. Like, we are here to service people and to allow others to get seen. That's what my platforms have been about, is making space for people and just giving people a way to be seen for whatever it is that they're doing. This is an extension of that for me. And so, whether you're doing that in the metaverse, which is my primary focus, or you want to do that with a presentation or a 15 minutes of fame as a business on our new show, or you want to come hang out with us on the Mark and Nicole show, because we have a couple different sets of shows that we're coming out with. I think I came up with 5 that we're going to roll out at first. And then we're just going to keep growing this thing. So as we are talking about this, yes, if you want to take your logo for your show and you want us to set up a store for you, we will definitely do that. If you want us to sell your stuff on our store and you just give you a cut, but you want us to handle everything, we'll do that too. So there's a lot of different options. We're very, very flexible.
No, we are very
One
flexible.
of
I
our
like the
favorite
flexibility.
features of ourselves is that we're flexible.
We're very flexible. I love that flexibility and all of that. And I understand, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. And I'm not the one that always knows the pricing. Nicole is a master and mistress at that and all in that space. But one of the things that I was wondering is if people are hearing this whole conversation we're having, hearing us joke around and having a good time and definitely enjoying each other's chemistry and conversation and all of that. And they're like, hey, I need to get some consulting from those. They sound like some fun people, and they can actually help me get to the next level as well. I think that there is an initial consulting fee that they can also do. I'm going to turn that over to Nicole so she can explain to you how you could have a 30-minute call and we can actually walk you through some of the things that we've been talking about on this show and maybe even help you do that. But like in everything else in life, things are not always free, so you might have to pay a consulting fee. So, Nicole, I turn it back over to you.
Yeah, so we offer consulting services to help you set up, whether that is just, helping you to frame your podcast, figure out what you want to do, how you want to do it, the best ways that you can get out there and get seen, or, and then, you go off and do it yourself, or, you are looking to get some services for the podcast that you already have because you don't want to produce your own show. That's where our lovely Mark Lee comes into play. I do some of that as well, but he does most of it because I don't want to. But also, if you have an event or something like that, like we do consulting for all sorts of things. And we also have a really wide network. Mark has alluded several times tonight that he is an influencer. And so, in case you did not hear him say that, I did. So, Mark, the influencer out here,
I'm
has
not an
thousands and
influencer.
thousands
I'm
and
not an influencer. I don't
thousands
know
of
why you
people
keep
who
thinking
know
I'm
his
an
name.
influencer. I don't know why you keep calling me an influencer, but
Mark
I'm not an influencer. But there are some people
Mark
that
is
are friends of
famous,
mine.
y'all.
That, hold on a
And
second. There
don't
are
let
people
him
that are
fool
friends of
you.
mine
Mark
that
is
are literally
famous.
influencers because they are award winning and they put award winning on their documentation. And we actually do an event together and all in that space. I guess technically I could do that as well. But my good friend
You
Brian
sure
Showman
can do
does the
that, you
What's Up
award-winning
Wednesday show
executive
and a number of
producer.
other shows. And he always puts award winning this and that because he won an award from Pod TV. He also won some awards for like the writing. So I don't think it was just Pod TV is the reason he puts that, but he just put award winning television show. And I think that that's because of the award that we gave him. But we do this thing that I invited Nicole to. Unfortunately, it was not taking place at the time that I invited her to. And that is on Wednesdays on occasion, we have a lip sync battle on that particular show. And yours truly will try to lip sync to all kinds of songs, whether that's R&B, whether that's whatever, along those lines. And at the end of the lip sync, so, you might hear me grabbing a mic or grabbing a, um, bottle and pretending like that is a mic or whatever and singing along and dancing along and doing other things. And of course, they have a whole song that they bring me out to and all in that nature. It's a blues song. Y'all can look it up. I'm not going to say the name of it right now, even though Nicole may reveal the song. Y'all can go watch it and everything. But after that song comes on, and after we do the song, then mysteriously, and I do mean mysteriously, it comes back to that phone that was going to self-destruct. We get calls, and the calls come from all over the world and everything that announce that I have won the contest along with whoever my partner is of the moment. Lately, it's been a group of us, so I just say that we all did good. For example, I'm just now getting one of those phone calls right now, and it is John Lennon from the Beatles. And John, you say that you're loving this new show that we've got, and that you are truly impressed with the Mark and Nicole show. Oh, hold on a second. Oh, President Biden, yes, you're enjoying the show as well, and you
Oh
want
my
to know when
God.
you can come on
What
the
just
show
happened?
and be a person on the show and all that, and
We're
all
not
along those
doing
lines.
that.
Hold on a second.
No.
Kamala, you're watching the show too, and you're not in the same part of the White House
Well,
as the
guys,
Bidens
this
and all
was
of that.
fun.
So that is something to consider
We're
as
done.
well. So that goes on also because we
It's
get
over.
these mysterious phone calls that come out of nowhere and all of that. And sometimes they're even from interesting characters. I got to do the last call. Wait, Alf. Yes, you're back up there in space, and you were just happening to watching
Alf
TV,
was
and you saw that.
dissected years ago. We did not. No, not at all. Not
Yep.
happening. This has just changed all sorts of ways. Um, Thankfully, guys, we only have 450 people who have watched this stream so far. Um, and
Wait a
that
minute. We
is
have how many people
far
that have
less.
watched the stream? We have how many people that have watched the stream so far?
450. And so that is far less than the 18,000 that we'll be watching next week when we go live, or, whenever we decide to post this and we're going to go live. But we need you to get out there and watch our productions because that's
We
what we're all
definitely need to
about.
have them watch the production and laugh and also enjoy some seriousness that goes on. But me and
Oh, wait,
Nicole
we're
have
going to be serious?
just on occasion, not often, because it's usually fun just laughing with you and all of that nature. But we won't be serious because I have enough seriousness on the online dinner
Thank
party, and I know
you.
you have
That's
enough
why we're
serious
doing
with
this.
metaverse and all of that. So we're just gonna have fun and be silly and all of that. And who knows, we might even invite some friends because there was a time that I had a children's show, and they wanted to come on. Who knows? The Funky Eye Puppets may slip into one of these episodes
We're
at some
going to
point.
go to a nude beach just so we could record Mark Lee's face as he's going through a nude beach, because I
Wait a
think
minute,
that would
back
be
up.
quite fun.
And you do know that I went down to Miami, and many years ago, I used to go to the film festival, and everybody would tell me that they went to Nikki Beach, which I think is short for Naked Beach, and all of that. So they all told me about what a wonderful time they had on this nude beach, and yours truly never went because I would usually catch the flight or however else I was getting back home, and I never went to Nikki Beach, even though I've heard that it was amazing. Now, I'd be lying if I said that I had not seen some of those imagery at certain kinds of clubs, but I never went to Nikki Beach, and
Oh,
some people.
shoot. Wait, what kind of clubs were you? This is a whole conversation. We're taking this offline.
Yeah.
So I want to. We're gonna
But
wrap
seriously,
the
but
credits. We're gonna roll the credits tonight,
we're
and
about to
those
roll the credits.
credits
But the thing
include.
about Nikki Beach, just really quickly, is I also understand that some people were somewhat disappointed because they were thinking that it was going to be like the imagery that they see on the television with the airbrushes and everything else.
Does Nikki require royalties for you talking about her beach while you're live broadcasting?
It's the
Because
name of it's the
Nikki's
name of a
beach.
beach there in Florida, and I don't know. Am I required to pay royalties if
I've
I say
seen
the
it. It
name
says
Tampa?
tell only your best friends.
No, but I'm just saying. But am I required to tell names if I'm talking about like things that are also named after stuff? Like just really quickly, and then we're gonna definitely roll the credits and everything. But North Carolina has some very unusual names that comedians love to make jokes about. Because I know that there is a town called Fuquay Farina, and comedians just love that because it's hard to say and it sounds like Farina and a bunch of other things. And then there's a town in North Carolina that I don't know what the heck the lizards did to anybody because the name of the town is actually in somewhere I think near the mountains, and you can look it up. The name of the town is Lizard Lick, North Carolina. And I'm going like, what did the lizards do? Why are they pissed? Why did they get a town named after them? And who the heck were they licking? So there's a whole other conversation that is kind of scary. That line, but definitely there's the things that are out there that are true things. And I'm sure there are other parts of the world that have crazy names as well. But yes, there is a Lizard Lick, North Carolina.
And we are not going to make this the North Carolina show either because one of us has never been to their longer than airport timelines. So we're going to make sure that when this goes live, we're not doing the North Carolina show. We
No,
can't.
agree. And like I said, I
We
said that I
can't
could
do
find
it.
other
We have to
towns.
pick something out of the encyclopedia. That's going to be our theme. Every
No,
week we're going to pick something out of the encyclopedia and read it. Why? Because nobody reads anymore, and because also encyclopedias are fun.
and ironically, I think when I was in college, I actually sold encyclopedias for a hot second. It
You
was
were
a hard
that
way.
guy?
I knocked on the door and I sold those encyclopedias. I think I maybe sold one. I also think that when I was in college, as I recall, I think that I had a day of work for Kirby, which is many people know that's the vacuum cleaner people, but I never thought I was a good salesman then. Don't think that I'm one now either, even though we're going to try to make some sales of those lovely products of ours that will change that. But definitely, I vaguely remember a job that included encyclopedias and vacuum cleaners and all of that. So just as part of the fun, and you can pick the letter next time. But as we end the show, and I will find interesting town facts of around the world, because we do know that there are weird names of towns throughout the world. I was just going off the top of my dome, which is why I went to North Carolina knowledge and all in that space. But I do know that other parts of the world, including other parts of the United States, have weird names and weird laws, because there are even crazy laws. Like I think in some state, in some part of the world, you can't feed peanuts to the elephants. And I'm going like, how many elephants are actually going down the street? And why would you be trying to feed peanuts to them in the first place? But apparently that's an actual law and all in that space. And there are other weird laws that exist in various parts of the world. And I've actually studied some of these laws just because they make for interesting facts and all that. But Nicole, next week or whenever we launch this show officially, you can pick the letter. But today I'm just going to randomly pick a letter. Can you find something in the encyclopedia or an encyclopedia in the online space, maybe from Google? So since it's Google, we're going to pick the letter G. So G is our letter for today. You give me the letter next week, and I'll look up in the encyclopedia anything that you want to find from the letter G. So the letter today is G. And what are we finding from the encyclopedia? And what are we reading as we end this lovely first edition of the Mark and Nicole Show?
All right. You want to do this? Okay. Don't ask me to do stuff like this because I am going to do it. And it will be okay. So today I'm going to do gargoyle.
Gargoyle. Okay.
Gargoyle. And we're going to go to Wikipedia.
Wikipedia.
And we're going to read the first paragraph, and that's it.
That's fine enough.
And we have to read the article in another random accent. We cannot read it regular. So both Mark and myself are absolute stunners when it comes to having these terrible accents that we do. So we're going to do that. And mine always changes, so I'm just going to pick whatever comes to me, and I am going to read it. And as I read to you today the article from Wikipedia on the gargoyle, I am going to let you know that this article is about statues on buildings. For the monster, you're going to want to see the gargoyle monster. And for other uses, you're going to want to see gargoyle disambiguation. In architecture, specifically Gothic architecture, a gargoyle is carved or formed grotesque with a spout designed to convey water from a roof and away from the side of a building, thereby preventing running down masonry walls and eroding the motor between. Architects often use multiple gargoyles on a building to divide the flow of rainwater off the roof to minimize potential damage from rainstorms. A trowel is cut in the back of the gargoyle, and rainwater typically exits through the open mouth. Gargoyles are elongated, fantastical animals because their length determines how far water is directed from the wall. When Gothic flying buttresses were used, aqueducts were sometimes cut into the buttress to divert water over the aisle walls. This has been a reading from the Wikipedia encyclopedia that happens to be on the online internet. This has been a reading of Gargoyle.
Gargoyles? The amazing gargoyle? I'm trying to understand because yours truly has been part of the European mafia, and I'm trying to figure out whether I need to have a gargoyle as part of my mafia design. Because as a European mafia member, I might want a gargoyle as my shield of armor as I go into battle. Because we do know that gargoyles are very important, and if you're going to go into the field of battle,
I feel like
gargoyle.
You're saying that you want to suck my blood. And I'm not sure that that's exactly what we were going for with gargoyles. Gargoyles are such a royal animal. It's like
it is a wild animal, and I was actually thinking that gargoyle had some very subtle messages as well, because I was hearing things like water flowing and buttresses and all kinds of other things. And I'm going like, are they talking about the gargoyles or what are they talking about?
You say buttresses, buttresses. And the buttresses, the
Like I said,
buttresses, butt
they were having
dresses.
all kinds of interesting
They're butt
conversations.
dresses. We have the butt dresses. I never heard of such a thing, a butt dress. We have a butt dress, a dress that accentuates your butt. We don't
And
have any of
essentially,
those.
you don't have any of those, and they don't have any of those in
Uh,
England or anywhere else. Even though
Oh my
I
god! Oh my god, Mark! We've got 40 seconds before we have to self-destruct this video, so nobody else
we are
has to see.
self-destructed with the video. And by the way, in case y'all did not know this, I am of the opinion, and this is just my
40,
opinion.
30,
Before we get ready to self-destruct,
10,
that Miss
9,
Maxwell is actually of the royal family. So I think that she is a royalty, and actually, I
8.
love the fact that she is of the royal family. But I'm going down, and I'm actually going to bring a friend of ours in before I actually get ready to show the video as well. But this is one of our friends, and that is our friend, the frog. The frog has jumped into the picture as well. So I thought the
Oh
frog
my
might
god,
want to.
5, 4, 3, 2. Oh my god, we've run over taping on our first adventure with the Mark and Nicole show. We are now over time, which means we now have to pay the network $40,000 for existing.
Oh no,
We
that's
are
kind of funny.
fine.
We had to pay them that, but I heard that they would take it, and this is just my opinion. I've heard that they will take it in grass. So I'm going to go out and try to collect about forty
Well,
thousand
good luck,
dollars
because there's
blades
no
of
grass out
grass,
there,
and
sir.
I mean
It's
like the actual
November.
blades of grass. So
There is
that's a lot of
November.
grass that I've got to collect from the backyard or the front yard or whatever yard that is of my apartment complex. So if you call later, I'm busy
Isn't
collecting
that
grass.
stealing? Are you stealing the grass? Because you don't technically own that grass. And I don't know if that seems a little suspicious. So
Well, like I said, we're going to go out on two notes. One, we're going to show, since I mentioned it earlier, and I think that this is an old one where they can't even get my name spelled right and all of that. So as we go out the door, I'm going to show a commercial about the road to the Apollo, where they spell it with a K, not with a C, if I remember correctly, and the 30-second clock. And that's going to get us on out of here. I will say that at least the lady that created this, a friend of Mr. Captain, apologized. So I will take the apology, and hopefully the next time they'll actually put a C on it and all in that space. So we're going to go out with the Apollo and 30 seconds as we get ready to get out of here. But do know that I do know, Lillian, that it is with a C and not a K. I know what my parents did. So let's get on out of here.